PDC here on a quick clip. Guys, I have finally found the time to binge watch the Netflix limited series documentary called Mr. Mcmahon. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, Mr. Mcmahon is a documentary about the origins of the WWE, formerly known as the WWF, World Wrestling Federation, but it's now World Wrestling Entertainment, and its founder, or rather not its founder, it's a former CEO, former president, former owner, Vincent McMahon. And I say former because the WWE has been, it's been sold to some groups that also own the UFC. And that's, again, one of the reasons why I'm talking about this, because it's, even though it's professional wrestling, it's pro wrestling, I always say that the UFC and the WWE, they have a lot in common. I was very intrigued by a lot of stuff that I watched in that documentary, and it's particularly the similarities between what's going on in the WWF and how it really influenced the UFC, and just in the sense of how the UFC does its productions, how the UFC presents its cards, the UFC trying to create Attitude Era, the walkout music, all these things that the UFC has improved on were stuff that they got the blueprint from the WWE and its production team. And all of that, at the end of the day, aside from the stars, who were the pro wrestlers that were, the wrestling superstars of the WWE, it was all because of Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon Jr., aka Mr. McMahon. The documentary really goes into details from Vince's perspective, from the perspective of wrestlers who worked with him, the perspective of staff who worked with him, people who liked him, people who didn't like him, businessmen, enemies, friends, allies, acquaintances. Real details. And it exposed so much. I mean, even the family dynamics between him, his daughter, his wife, his son Shane, son-in-law Triple H. Bruh, it was such a good watch. It was such a good watch. I highly recommend you guys take the time out to watch it. And I never really quite understood the business aspect of the WWE as it pertains to Vincent McMahon. Listen, call him what you want with all the allegations going about and the investigations happening right now, with allegedly some SA. You guys know what I'm talking about. Some SA allegations and investigations that are happening in Vince McMahon's life. Regardless of all that, I would say regardless, because I'm not condoning those actions. I just know that Vince McMahon right now is innocent until proven guilty. So I'm not quick to, judge just yet. However, regardless of everything that happened, you cannot, if you're a businessman, which I am, you cannot help but admire Vince's tenacity, Vince's resilience, Vince's sheer creative and marketing genius. From how he got the WWE from what it was to the juggernaut that it is, the global juggernaut that it is today. We're talking 5 decades of work. And that company is still, through all the scandals and all the craziness happening, that company is still there today. He may not own as much stakes as he used to back in the day for obvious reasons, because they've got new partners and he's sort of taking the back burner right now. But man, it is something admirable. So for those of you who are hustlers, for those of you who are interested in knowing how the UFC ties into the WWE, for those of you who just were formerly wrestling fans, right? Pro wrestling fans from back in the day, because I know most of us MMA casuals were pro wrestling fans who transitioned into MMA. You guys need to watch it. You guys really need to watch it and let me know what you think. I'm so interested in finding out what you felt after watching the documentary. I binged all 6 episodes, like literally one day, boom. Because I had it on my radar for a bit. I did that in one day, and it was quite something to behold. I'll probably give it another spin. Maybe not now, but later. But I will. Okay? If something comes up that is different from the outcome of how the documentary ended, I'll talk about it. Mr. TDC, out. Peace.